It was New Year's Eve. The champagne flutes were full, the fake friends were laughing, and she, my wife, Amanda, was glowing like a queen in that silver dress. The whole room seemed to revolve around her, like it always did. And I let it. For years. But that night she gave me a performance worthy of a lifetime award in cruelty. She clinked her glass against mine with a smug smile, then turned to the crowd. To new beginnings, she said, raising her flute high. To new men, more than I had this year. I'm divorcing you, Kyle. I remember the glass slipping from my fingers, hitting the marble floor, and shattering like every illusion I'd clung to for the last 3 years. Everyone laughed. Thought it was some twisted joke. But Amanda's eyes? Cold. Flat. Smirking. She had planned it. Down to the second. I didn't say a word. I just watched her sip her drink, savoring the moment like some villainess in a drama series. She thought she'd won. That I'd melt, beg, cry in front of everyone like some desperate fool. What she didn't know, what made that moment so delicious for me, was that my divorce papers had already been filed 3 days earlier. And my lawyer? A beast in court. The kind who makes opponents cry in their Teslas. Her toast was supposed to humiliate me. My paperwork was set to humiliate her. But let me back up a bit. Because you're probably wondering, how did it get to this point? What kind of woman does that? What kind of man lets it go that far? I used to believe in Amanda. Really believe in her. We met 5 years ago at a tech expo in Austin. She worked PR. I worked software. She was bold, beautiful, with a sharp tongue and legs that could distract a priest. Everyone warned me. Said she was trouble, said she played games. But I was blind. Hell, I was proud. Proud to have her on my arm. Proud to believe I was the one man she wouldn't mess with. I was wrong. So damn wrong. 6 months before that New Year's Eve, I started noticing it. Subtle at first. She stopped laughing at my jokes. Started staying late at yoga. Came home smelling like men's cologne she swore was her coworker's new essential oil blend. You ever heard that kind of crap before? Yeah, I did too. Then there were the passwords. Changed on every device. Her phone never left her hand. Even took it into the shower. Said it was for safety. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I played it cool. But inside, something was cracking. I started checking bank statements. Uber rides she never mentioned. Charges from bars we never went to. And that one damn hotel, the Ellington. Not once. Not twice. 6 times. Same room. You know what that feels like? Watching someone carve out pieces of your trust with a smile? I hired a PI. One of those quiet guys who looked like he belonged behind a newspaper in a diner. Within a week, he had photos. Amanda, my wife, grinding on some dude in a blazer with his hand down the back of her jeans in a lounge. Then later, walking into that same Ellington suite. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just froze. It was like watching a stranger wear her face. That's when I made my move. Cleaned up my finances. Moved assets. Set up my new place by the sea under a trust in my cousin's name. My lawyer drew up the divorce papers and prepped for war. Amanda thought she'd drop a bomb on New Year's. Instead, she stepped on a mine. She had no idea that as she raised her glass and humiliated herself with that little toast, she had already lost everything. The house? Mine. The accounts? Closed. Her car? Leased under my company name. Returned. And when she tried to file her papers, those pathetic, dramatic papers, my lawyer simply pulled mine out of his folder, smiled, and said, "Ladies first, but we got here first." So while she stood there that night, tipsy and arrogant, laughing with her girlfriends about how she'd freed herself, I knew the truth. She wasn't free. She was about to drown. Because when the dust settled and the documents were finalized, she had nothing but her bags and her Instagram followers. Meanwhile, I spent New Year's Day drinking bourbon alone on my deck, waves crashing below, new keys in my pocket. The silence? Beautiful. But don't think it ended there. No, Amanda doesn't fall quietly. And what she did next? That's a whole new level of insane. The morning after the New Year's party, I woke up to 50 missed calls. Most were from Amanda. The others were from mutual friends who hadn't seen me leave the party and thought I might have driven into a tree. That's how dramatic she made it look, as if she left me broken, humiliated, discarded like a dog she grew tired of petting. I wasn't broken. I was reloading. I ignored the calls. I walked barefoot across the hardwood floor of my new beach house, watching the sunrise paint the sky like fire. I made coffee. Strong. Black. No sugar, just the way Amanda hated it. And for the first time in years, I drank it in silence. But by noon, she figured out what had happened. She showed up at my old place, now technically mine and vacant, only to find her key didn't work. Her car, the one she flaunted around town, already taken by the dealership. Her credit cards, all frozen. The joint accounts were long split. I left her a single envelope in the mailbox, a printout of her own text to Brandon, her blazer-wearing boy toy, and a sticky note. Read them slowly. It'll hurt more. She was too proud to cry. So she raged. I got the first email that afternoon. Subject, you're going to regret this. Then a second, we can talk. Then a third, you set me up, didn't you? I didn't reply. She moved to texting. Amanda, Kyle, I know I hurt you, but this is extreme. Amanda, you blindsided me. You ambushed me. Amanda, you always loved control. This isn't love. This is punishment. I laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was predictable. That woman could lie with tears in her eyes and make it look like opera. And still, even when caught, she tried to twist the knife like I was the villain in her little story. Let's back up a bit, because this part matters. Amanda was never just a cheater. She was an actress. A master manipulator. She'd lie so smoothly, I doubt my own memory. A month before New Year's, I caught her humming in the kitchen. She was actually happy for once, cooking pasta at 11 p.m. in a red silk robe. Who's that for? I asked, joking. She smiled. You, dummy. That night, we watched a movie. She cuddled up to me like old times. I almost believed her. Until 2 hours later, while she was sleeping, I checked her phone, synced to the iPad. The same night she made me pasta, she sent Brandon a message. He's clueless. I even kissed him tonight. I feel disgusting. Can't wait to be in your arms instead. That's when something died inside me. Not anger. Not heartbreak. Just clarity. Amanda wasn't a woman who cheated once and made a mistake. She enjoyed it. She loved the game. The lies. The fake dinners. The secret meetups. She was addicted to the thrill of being above consequences. Until now. Now she was the one waking up alone. The one calling lawyers. The one Googling how to cancel a divorce filing you already lost. And I was watching the tide roll in, feeling lighter by the minute. But here's where it gets messy. Because when someone like Amanda loses power, they don't shrink. They explode. That evening, my cousin Jack called me. She just showed up at my office, man. What? Screaming. Crying. Said you were having a breakdown. Said you needed intervention. Tried to get into your records. Amanda had no shame. She was trying to paint me as unstable, probably to overturn the court filings. Luckily, Jack knew the truth. He'd helped me prep for everything. But the fact she was already trying to twist reality meant one thing. She wasn't done. And that scared me more than anything. Because Amanda wasn't going to go down quietly. She was going to drag everything and everyone into the storm with her. 2 days after New Year's, Amanda showed up at my new house. Not called. Not texted. Just showed up. It was early morning, the sea air was cool, and I was on the back deck sipping my coffee, already dressed for the gym. I heard the tires on gravel first. Then a sharp knock. 3 times. Aggressive. She was wearing black, tight leggings, oversized sunglasses, hair in a bun like she was mourning something. Maybe herself. I opened the door and leaned against the frame, arms crossed. Nice view, she said, peeking past me. Yours used to be better, I replied. Her lips tightened. We need to talk. I didn't move. You can say it from there. She took off her glasses slowly, trying to perform emotion. You blindsided me, Kyle. I didn't think you'd be so calculated. That word again. Calculated. Like I was some villain, not a man reacting to betrayal. I didn't answer. I wanted her to feel the weight of silence. I made mistakes, she continued. But you made a war out of it. You wanted to see me humiliated. I raised an eyebrow. You toasted to your freedom in front of 30 people. You wanted a spectacle. I just gave you one. She laughed, bitterly. You think this is funny? No, I said. I think it's overdue. Then she changed tactics. They always do. Kyle, he didn't mean anything, she whispered. It was just a distraction. I didn't think you cared anymore. We hadn't been close in months. There it was. The old blame shift. She wanted me to believe it was my fault. That her months of lying, sneaking off, and calling another man baby in her text was somehow justified because I had been distant. You had a choice, Amanda, I said coldly. You could have talked. You could have left. But you chose to lie. Repeatedly. She shrugged. So what now? You just burn everything down? Make me start over with nothing? I stared at her, and for a second, I saw the panic, the fake confidence cracking. I didn't burn it down, I said. You did that when you picked him over me and kept picking him. I just walked away from the fire. Silence. Then she leaned in, voice low. He dumped me. You win. Happy. That surprised me. I blinked. Brandon? He left you. She scoffed. Said I had too much baggage. Said he wasn't ready for all this. Coward. I almost laughed. The guy she risked everything for, the one she sneaked around to be with, threw her away when things got real. Poetic. She looked around the house again, trying to hold back tears, but they weren't real. I knew Amanda too well. She was performing. Always performing. Then she said something that almost made me lose it. You should forgive me. We were great once. You're not going to find another me. I stepped forward. I don't want another you, I said. I want peace. I want trust. I want nights without paranoia and days without pretending. I don't miss you, Amanda. I miss who I thought you were. She bit her lip, finally wounded. And then, in true Amanda fashion, she snapped. You think this ends here? You think I'm just going to fade out like some sad ex-wife? I made you social. I made you confident. I gave you a life. I smiled, a real one, for the first time in months. You gave me lies, Amanda. And now you gave me freedom. She stared at me, jaw clenched, then turned and stormed off. I watched her leave. No sadness. No regret. Just relief. But I knew this wasn't the end. Not with Amanda. She was wounded now. Cornered. And people like her? They don't retreat. They plot. And when she found out what else I'd done behind the scenes, the final blow I had ready, she was going to explode. Amanda didn't text. Didn't call. No late-night emails. No threats or crocodile tears. For 72 hours, there was total silence. And that silence? It was terrifying. Because Amanda never went quiet unless she was building a bomb. I didn't have to wait long to find out what it was. Sunday morning, I got a call from my accountant, Dave. Kyle, we've got a situation, he said, his voice sharp. Tell me. Amanda tried to access your corporate accounts through a shared business app. She used your old login from the marketing platform and triggered a fraud alert when she attempted to pull down client data. I froze. My company, my software consulting firm, was the one thing untouched by the divorce drama. Or so I thought. Amanda had no stake in it, no access. But she knew just enough about how I ran it to be dangerous. Did she get anything? I asked. No. The system locked her out. But she tried more than once from multiple IPs. She's either digging for leverage, or she's trying to sabotage you. I hung up, eyes burning. Of course. Amanda couldn't destroy me emotionally, so she was going for something bigger. Reputation. Legacy. Career. That afternoon, I checked social media, and there it was. A subtle post on her story. Funny how people pretend to be gentlemen after gutting you like animals. Cheers to snakes in suits. Cryptic, dramatic, perfectly designed for attention. Within the hour, 3 mutual friends sent me screenshots. A few even reached out to ask if I had cheated on her. Her. The woman who toasted to having new men before the clock even hit midnight was now painting herself as the victim. I could have called her. Could have told her to stop. But Amanda didn't respond to reason. She only responded to consequences. So I went quiet. And I sent my lawyer a final file. It was a folder labeled Ellington. Inside, everything the private investigator had uncovered. Photos, timestamp texts, receipts, the whole affair package. We were going nuclear. The next day, her lawyer called mine. Amanda was deeply hurt by the level of aggression in my filings. Aggression? She wasn't hurt. She was cornered. I had built a legal case so airtight, even her own attorney couldn't find a hole. Amanda had waived alimony without reading the prenup. She thought she was securing leverage with a dramatic public divorce. Instead, she handed me every weapon I needed. And when she realized that, she went ballistic. I was at the gym when she showed up again. The front desk buzzed me mid-set. There's a woman asking for you. Says it's urgent. I walked to the lobby, heart pounding. There she was. Tears streaked down her makeup, hair wild, phone in one hand, some rolled-up document in the other. You bastard, she hissed, charging toward me. You destroyed me. People turned. I felt the heat of a dozen eyes. You think I deserve nothing? That I should be punished like some criminal? I didn't flinch. Amanda, go home. You humiliated me in court. You froze my accounts. You even got me fired. That stopped me. What? My company found the PI photos, she said. I lost 3 clients. My boss said I embarrassed the brand. So that was it. Amanda hadn't just lost the money and the marriage. She lost her image. And Amanda without her image? She's nothing. You did this, she whispered. You enjoyed watching me fall. I stared at her, really stared, and said, no. I enjoyed watching the truth finally catch up. Then I turned my back and walked away. I didn't need revenge. Truth was enough. But Amanda? She wasn't finished. And the next move she made was something even I didn't see coming. It was a Wednesday morning when I got the envelope. No postmark. No return address. Just left in the mailbox of my beach house. Hand-delivered. Inside, a single sheet of paper and a flash drive. The paper was printed with Amanda's handwriting font. Yes, she had one, spelled out in big, dramatic letters. If I go down, I'm taking you with me. I stared at it for a moment, then plugged the flash drive into my laptop. The folder had 6 files. Photos. A few doctored screenshots of fake conversations between me and an intern from my company. One file was a voice memo, my voice, distorted and chopped, saying things I never said. Amanda had gone full scorched earth. This was her final card, framing me for harassment, possibly misconduct, maybe to hurt my business, maybe just to destroy what was left of my name. I sat back in my chair, fingers steepled, eyes closed. She wasn't stupid. She was desperate. A cornered manipulator who had run out of lies that worked and decided if she couldn't be the star, she'd burn the stage. I called my lawyer, emailed my IT guy, and by that night, we traced the file's origins to a cheap editing app and a VPN server Amanda used 2 months earlier when she pretended to be in yoga retreats, but was actually holed up with Brandon in Vegas. The pieces fell together too perfectly. She thought she had built a fire, but all she gave me was kindling for a courtroom victory. Still, I couldn't sleep that night. The betrayal had stopped being emotional. Now it was warfare. I kept replaying it all in my head. 5 years. 5 years of building a life with someone who would fake evidence, lie in court, toast to having new men at my expense, then try to tear down everything I had built out of bitterness. The next day, I handed the flash drive over to my lawyer and filed a formal restraining order. She was done pretending. So was I. Then came the moment I didn't expect, the one that hit deeper than all the rage and drama. It was from her sister, Melissa. She called me late that night. We hadn't spoken since Amanda and I split. Hey, Kyle, she said, voice shaky. I know I shouldn't get involved, but I had to say something. What's going on? She's not okay. Like, really not okay. She's been drinking, locked herself in her condo for 3 days. Says she has nothing left. Silence on the line. Then she added, I think she's spiraling. I should have felt something. Guilt. Pity. Maybe a twinge of the man who once loved her. But I didn't. I just felt empty. Amanda built her cage, I said. She locked the door. I just walked away from it. Melissa sniffled. I know. I just thought you should hear it. Thanks for the call. I hung up. That night, I sat outside, wind rolling off the ocean, and thought about the man I used to be. The one who brought Amanda flowers every Friday. The one who stayed late after work just to surprise her with her favorite takeout. The one who ignored the red flags because he believed love could fix everything. That man was gone, replaced by someone sharper. Colder maybe, but real. Amanda's last move failed. And now, for the first time in years, I wasn't reacting to her chaos. I was breathing again. But one more storm was coming. One more twist I never saw coming. And it would change everything again. The next twist didn't come in a text, a call, or a courtroom filing. It came knocking literally. Friday night. I was half-dressed, getting ready to meet Jack and a few guys for drinks downtown. Doorbell rings. I wasn't expecting anyone, but I figured it was a neighbor or some delivery screw-up. I opened the door, and there she stood. Not Amanda. Her mother. Cynthia Walker, a woman who wore pearl earrings to the beach and judged everyone with the kind of eyes that could freeze a flame. We hadn't spoken in nearly a year. Not since she toasted Amanda's birthday by saying, here's to being too hot for loyalty. Charming, right? Mrs. Walker, I said flatly, gripping the doorknob. She gave me a once-over and smirked. Still dressing like you own the world, I see. I didn't even ask her why she was there. I just waited. She stepped forward like she belonged there. May I come in? No. She paused, clearly not used to hearing that word. I came to talk. Face to face. Not text, not email. I'm busy. You're always busy. You were too busy to keep my daughter's attention too, apparently. I clenched my jaw. This woman raised Amanda. I should have known what I was signing up for from day one. She crossed her arms, eyes narrowing. She's in trouble, Kyle. You may not care, but she's spiraling. Drinking. Saying things. Scary things. She should get help. She won't. She only listens to men she respects. And for better or worse, you're still one of them. I wanted to slam the door. But then Cynthia did something unexpected. She dropped the act. I know my daughter, she said, quieter now. I know she lies. I know she manipulates. I taught her some of it. But you were the best thing that ever happened to her. You were good to her. Too good. And when you stopped letting her win, she broke. I didn't say anything. She's not evil, she added. She's just hollow. And now she's filling that with whatever she can find. Booze. Pity. Revenge. I stepped outside, shutting the door behind me. What do you want from me? A visit. One. Not to reconcile. Not to forgive. Just to talk. Before she does something she can't undo. There was a beat of silence between us. The kind that says this is real now. I should have said no. But I remembered what Melissa said. And despite everything, part of me still felt responsible, not for Amanda's choices, but for what 5 years of history can do to a person when it all burns down. Where is she? Cynthia handed me an address on a crumpled napkin. Some friend's apartment. Downtown. She hasn't left in 2 days. I took it. Didn't say I'd go. Didn't say I wouldn't. Cynthia turned to leave, but not before saying one last thing. She never cried over anyone before you. I closed the door behind her, heart pounding. What was I walking into? A trap? A plea for forgiveness? Or something darker? I didn't know Amanda anything. But maybe, just maybe, I needed closure. The real kind. The kind you don't get from courtrooms and text messages. So I grabbed my keys and headed downtown. I pulled up to the address Cynthia gave me, a cracked old apartment building tucked behind a liquor store and a boarded-up laundromat. This wasn't Amanda's usual territory. She belonged to rooftop bars and luxury condos. The kind of places where lighting mattered more than rent. But here she was, holed up in someone else's rundown unit, hiding from the fallout of her own destruction. I knocked. Nothing. I knocked again, harder this time. A shuffle. Then a voice slurred and sharp. If it's you, Kyle, just come in. I stepped inside. The place reeked of tequila, cheap perfume, and stale air. The curtains were drawn, dishes piled in the sink, and fast food wrappers covered the coffee table. And there she was, Amanda, curled up on the worn-out couch in one of my old hoodies, probably the one she refused to give back after the split. Her mascara had dried in streaks under her eyes, and her hair was tied up in a loose bun that screamed I gave up. She looked up at me and smirked. Did Mommy beg you to check on me? I didn't answer. She pulled her knees up, balancing a half-empty bottle of Patron on her thigh. Figures. She always liked you more than me. You're drunk. No, she said. I'm honest. Something you always wanted, right? I didn't sit. I just stood there, watching her unravel in real time. I lost everything, Kyle. She raised the bottle like a trophy. You win. Your little revenge mission worked. The house, the court, my job, my clients, my image, all gone. You turned me into a me. No, Amanda, I said quietly. You turned yourself into a cautionary tale. She threw the bottle. It hit the wall just beside me, shattered into pieces. I didn't flinch. I gave you the best years of my life, she screamed. I kept things exciting. I tried to make us fun again. And you became this boring, robotic ghost. Always working. Always judging. I stepped forward. And you fixed that by sliding into Brandon's bed? That name still made her twitch. She dropped her face into her hands. I just wanted to feel wanted again. You were wanted, I said. You were loved. You were chosen. But you needed an audience. Always performing, always needing more applause. She looked up. And what do you need, Kyle? A clean conscience? A hero complex? No, I said. I just wanted peace. And you can't survive in peace. You need chaos to feel alive. She stood slowly, stumbling a bit, walking over to me in bare feet. You're not as strong as you pretend, she said. You're still here. You still care. I looked her in the eye. No, I'm here because I didn't want to read your obituary. That shut her up. For the first time, she looked small. Not broken. Just tired. Amanda Walker, the woman who once controlled every room she walked into, stood in front of me in a stranger's apartment, surrounded by her own wreckage. And I didn't feel rage anymore. I felt release. I'm not saving you, I said. You have to do that yourself. Her lip trembled, and for a second, I thought she might ask for help. But Amanda only knew how to demand, never beg. So she whispered, then go. I turned, walked to the door. And just before I left, I heard her voice, soft, almost a ghost. I'm sorry. I didn't look back. Because some apologies don't need answers. They just need silence. It's strange how silence can feel louder than screaming. That night, after I left Amanda's crumbling little hideout, I drove without thinking, windows down, wind pouring through like it was trying to scrub the last of her voice out of my head. I didn't go home right away. I stopped at the pier near my beach house. The same one we used to walk on when things were still good, back when I thought forever meant something. I sat at the edge, staring at the dark water, letting it breathe around me. It was over. Really over. No more legal battles. No more screaming matches. No more cryptic texts or fake apologies. Just silence. And freedom. But freedom has a strange taste when you've been in a cage long enough. It doesn't feel like champagne. It feels like stillness. Like starting over without knowing what the next move is. Like staring at the pieces of your old life and realizing you don't want to put them back together. Amanda had been a storm. Beautiful, thrilling, loud, but destructive. And for years, I convinced myself that I was strong enough to stand in it without getting blown apart. But I wasn't. I was a man who built a life around a fantasy. Around a woman who saw relationships as games and affection as a weapon. And no matter how much love I gave her, she was always hungry for more. Not more love. Just more. More attention. More men. More drama. And now she had less than ever. She still hadn't called after I left. No texts. No threats. Maybe her mother convinced her to stop. Or maybe, just maybe, Amanda finally realized that this wasn't a performance anymore. That the curtain had dropped, the lights had gone out, and the audience had left the theater. I thought about everything I'd lost. The years. The trust. The version of me that used to believe people were who they said they were. But I also thought about what I'd gained. The peace. The clarity. The power to rebuild without her shadow following me into every room. The next morning, I packed up some old boxes she'd left behind. Trinkets. Photos. A few of her designer shoes she probably forgot during the split. I didn't burn them or smash them. I dropped them off at a donation center under a fake name. Let someone else give her things a second life. She wouldn't get another one from me. A week passed. Then two. No news. No messages. I heard from Melissa again. Just a short text. She's in rehab now. Voluntarily. Said your visit woke her up. I stared at it for a long time before typing back. Good. I hope she makes it. That's all I said. That's all I needed to say. And now? Now I live differently. Not cautiously, just honestly. I surf in the mornings. I read in silence. I talk to my mother more. I've started dating again, slowly, carefully. Nothing serious. Just real. I no longer apologize for wanting loyalty. And I no longer doubt my instincts. Amanda taught me something valuable. Through pain, through betrayal, through her theatrical collapse, she showed me the difference between love and illusion. And if there's anything I'd tell someone else going through what I did, it's this. Don't chase the person who broke you just because they cry after they're finished. People like Amanda only cry when the mask slips. You can't build peace on top of broken trust. You can only build peace when you walk away and never look back. And that's what I did. I didn't win. I didn't lose. I survived. And survival, when it's earned, tastes better than revenge ever could.